What's up, everybody? It's me again, and it's time to lean in, bitch. We are back. Of course, I ain't got to introduce him because, child, at this point, y'all know who he is. But I'm going to say, what's up, Jamie?
Hey, happy Wednesday night. It's
Yeah,
good to see you.
it is Wednesday night, so,
It's Wednesday.
it's later for you than it is for me. But we both just finished watching this episode. What you thought of it? What did you think of it?
We both didn't know it was an hour and a half, so it was approaching the time that we thought it was going to end, and I was like, "Oh shit, ain't nothing popped off yet. They're not doing anything."
Child, when I
Um,
saw an hour and a half, I said, okay, I guess I'll get comfortable in this seat. Cause I
all
decided
right, I
to
wasn't
wait.
ready.
I decided to wait to start watching it like 10, 15 minutes later so I can catch up, and watch it all like
Yeah.
without commercials. But child, by the time I got through fast forward and I was at the live point, I said, okay. So, okay, let's get into it. Let's talk about it. This is the finale. I mean,
Yes.
essentially, you have basically recapped this entire like series with me from beginning to end. I think I've done a few by myself, but mostly with you. So I thank you for that because I mean you've actually made this a lot more enjoyable to do for this show. I enjoyed this show, but the commentary between you and I is just the chemistry's there. So last week
It's the journey.
it is the journey, according to my girl Tisha Campbell. So last week was the infamous finale part of the Vegas episode, and that's where basically everybody turned on Jen, and this is the finale episode for the entire season. And so basically, Heather, your girl, partially mine, is getting ready for her. She's launching her new venue. I believe she's moving her business to a new space, and so at first
Mhm.
I didn't know what she was doing, but that's what she's doing. So at the end of this episode, that's where it is. Now, in one of the first scenes, Lisa actually meets with Jen. She reveals that she was leaving and she was getting on the elevator, and on the elevator with no makeup on, looking even more crazy than she already does, was Jen. And I was
In a
like,
Gucci tracksuit. In a Gucci
I'm sure
tracksuit.
that was a sight to see because Jen, you know, without makeup, ooh. So she basically says that she, extends an olive branch and she wants to talk to her. So in this scene, she's talking to her and she's just trying to hear her out. And Jen is just oh so grateful. What were your thoughts on seeing Lisa, take this approach after specifically saying that she did not want to be friends with her and that she was toxic literally a week ago? Because those are very strong statements to say. But what were your thoughts?
Look, you and I have talked about how we've enjoyed how Lisa speaks her mind and how she's really upfront. This whole scene made me like kind of side eye her. I was like, you were one of the main ones that was vocal. Like, I'm never going to be friends with Jen again. How dare she? That pisses me off. She hurt my friend Meredith. And now you're like, I want to give you a chance to tell me your side of the story. And I'm like, girl, you didn't ask her that last week. You
Right.
didn't you didn't feel like asking it last week. But I get it. We all get upset. We all say things, but it just kind of made me look like, girl, you was the ringleader hyping up the other bitches last week, and now you
Yeah.
meeting in secret.
You were the main
Um,
one.
and
You were
of
the main
course,
one.
of course, Jen is. My words were misconstrued. Next time, I just won't talk to basically insinuating that what she had to say with Meredith was it was misconstrued, and I guess next time I won't say things to people that could misinterpret my words. And I'm like, girl, ain't nothing misinterpreted. You told Whitney
I mean, you
that Meredith
exactly,
was seeing other men.
exactly.
That's point blank what you said. So I think that Jen is a master manipulator. Jen's going to bring on the tears, going to say what she needs to say to look like the victim. And I'm a little bit surprised, I guess, that Lisa fell for it, considering how much of a hard on she's had for Whitney the entire season about the tequila comment.
Exactly. I had a couple. I had a few issues with this scene. First, she arrives and she asks for a drink. Okay, first of all, that's your biggest problem. Let's start there, man. You don't need a drink. You need to have this conversation very sober because every conversation when you have had a drink, it escalates. You're not receptive of what is being said. And number two, she's blaming it on how she was raised. She's blaming it on her culture. She's blaming it on, being amongst white people in Salt Lake City. And I'm like, okay, you may have been different. You may have had to, she acting like all my life I had to fight and all. Like I understand what she's trying to say. I feel like a lot of people use that. Sometimes I often can say like, as a child I was bullied. So when it comes to things in my current adult life, I'm just very zero tolerance. But there's a balance. There's a difference with that. And I get what she was trying to say, but the way she said it, she's just basically saying, I was done this way and this is why I am. But no, you are just unruly. Like you're lashing out for other reasons. It has nothing to do with your child. There may be a small piece of it, but you just are a ticking time bomb. You have no control of yourself and your feelings. And that is what I had an issue with her. Like, what were your thoughts on that?
Child, she grasping at straws at this point. Every single time she has an apology, it's for a different reason.
Every
Oh, my
time.
dad worked too much because he was trying to provide for us, and so
Oh,
he was
yes, you
never
did say
around, and that's why I'm angry. And no, now it's because I was the only non-white person. It's like, well, girl, let's not pretend you're black either. You're like,
Well,
calm down.
no, we
Like,
just said a
you,
long time ago. She is the blackest person on this cast. If it was up to her, honey, she is a strong
let
black
her tell
woman.
it.
Okay,
Let her tell it. She is
so
a light-skinned black woman. Let her tell it. It's just, and it's. I really don't think that she. There are things that she says that I fully believe that she believes her own bullshit,
right.
and then other things that she just says bullshit to see if other people believe them. And that whole line of "I'm the way that I am because of my culture," literally because of my you
I'm
what your
just like,
culture?
what did
Because
I need to research the Tongan culture. I need to figure out, are they like warriors? Do they fight? Like,
okay,
were they picked
because
on? I
they're
need
from
to,
Hawaii. Is that what she
yeah.
said, or where were they from? Right?
I'm not sure,
And from
but I'm
my
gonna do some
understanding, it's they're
research.
very like inviting and family oriented, and she's talking about how her dad provided for the family, was a hard worker and loved them, but now because of her culture, she's an angry, belligerent, backstabbing drunk. Like,
Yeah, I
sis,
don't know.
what's going on? You're married to a whole Muslim, and my understanding is he's a devout Muslim. So you think that you would have caught some like anger management practices that he does as opposed to Israel. You don't pray with your husband? Like, how does he remain so calm and you're a fucking ticking time bomb? Like, I don't believe a word that comes out of that woman's mouth.
Yeah.
She's a mess. I don't
Well,
feature her.
on a lighter note, I did enjoy the scene with her and her husband doing the salsa class, just because they were actually like they had some great coordination. They were in sync, and I'm glad that he's like trying. I'm sure he's obviously spending more time with her now because, well, I don't know, because in the end it says that they're still on
They
FaceTime.
still aren't.
So I don't know, but I on that note, I did like seeing Jen there, and we're gonna get back to Jen because this Jen is, I feel even
It's a
worse for
lot.
her. So let's talk about Whitney and her dad. We hadn't seen her dad in
Mm-hmm.
a while, and he's obviously back doing hair, or now he's teaching like classes for hair. So I thought that was great. We hadn't seen much of him in a while, but like I think in the ending of the episode, it said, well, no, it says that I'm skipping ahead. But basically,
Yeah.
just let's just talk
You're
about
giving
your
a
thoughts.
preview for the reunion.
Right. So I'll come back to where we are. What were your thoughts on just her dad and him over there doing the lip pressing curls in front of the students and stuff, Chad?
Look, and I think that you and I had this conversation the very first recap we did, that I was worried that his coming onto the show and his story of being like an addict, like he was coming on for the wrong
Mm-hmm.
reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that maybe in the reunion, depending on how that conversation goes, we
Mm-hmm.
may see a little bit of that.
Mm-hmm.
But from Whitney's side, you see a genuine like love for her dad.
Yeah.
Like, she even mentioned, I think during that scene, she goes, I've been let down in the past, but I'm going to continue to show up for him. And she does. Like, anytime that he needs something, she's right there. She was the model for him while he cut her hair. Like, she really genuinely wants her dad to succeed and
Yeah.
wants to see her dad in a good place.
Mm-hmm.
And one, that's really admirable, but two, on the same side, it's just like my heart goes out to her because I really, really hope that this doesn't like he doesn't disappoint her. I mean, if you know anybody with addiction and stuff like that, it's a roller coaster. It's not,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I decided to go to rehab one time and I'm completely cured for the rest of my life. Like it takes multiple trips sometimes for this to stick, and I just don't want to see her like get hurt because she seems like she
She
genuinely
has
has
a
a
she
big
does, and
affection
I
for her
think
dad.
she is definitely all for his well being. So that's why I was just like, even before I saw the preview for the reunion, I was just kind of like, I hope that he stays on his path because I feel like it would just like tear her apart to see that she's put all this effort in and he's kind of relapsed because she said he has before. So um, it was good to see him. He was smiling, and I was just a nice little small moment. I'm glad
I wanted
they circle back, to him because
I wanted to
honestly,
see him style her hair. Like, what did he do to her hair?
well,
He
she
didn't do
said
nothing.
he said something about
It
like
was
cutting,
wet.
right? Maybe
I
he
don't know
did
because
her
it looked
hair
the
for
same as when she
Vegas.
sat down in that chair.
Maybe he did her hair for Vegas. You remember we was talking about her hair was very like, I'm a slave for you, Britney. Not even slave for you, Britney. That's not that was
Yeah,
it was very Britney Spears back in like 90.
it was very wet. But he didn't do nothing. She's like, "Oh, thanks, Dad." And I was like, "You did the same thing. He didn't give you no bangs. He didn't blow dry it out. Like,
He to
what's
give
going
it up
on?
and I don't know, child.
Didn't do a little bump a curl or nothing." I was upset.
So then another scene that I actually enjoyed was Lisa and her kids. Now,
Hmm.
because I like this, she's like trying to get them to like be like some young entrepreneurs, and he was basically trying to sell his business. Now the other little kid, the young one, I mean he younger, but child, I was just like, look, be quiet. Even Lisa was like, I'm like, sit down somewhere, like, be quiet. But I like to see Lisa with her husband and her kids. Her daughter looks just like a mini me of her. The two boys, they look like, I
Look
guess
like the daddy.
more of a daddy, like in a sense. But I like that she was trying to instill that quality in them at a very young age.
I think that's probably how she connects with her kids is
Yeah,
through like work ethic and
yeah,
like teaching them like, hey. And I think that's really admirable because some of these kids could be spoiled and just
yeah.
expect to get things. But I thought that was, like you said, that was really cool. That, what was it, 2 or 3 weeks ago, she made them give her like a presentation about what the products is going to be and what
Mm-hmm.
is their idea for this
Mm-hmm.
grooming line. And she didn't just like placate them like, oh, that's good, maybe it'll happen someday. Like, she's full force, like, all right, if we're going to do this, we're going to do this. And she invited them along the process to see. So whether or not it sticks with them, you don't know, but at least she's instilling that, like you said, of like, if you want something, we're going to work for it, and this is what the process looks like. It doesn't just happen overnight. Like, it's a process. So I think that's cool. She's not a disciplinarian. Them kids don't listen to her. That little boy bad as hell.
And then also within her marriage, it seems like eventually he's going to get like, because he was just like, let's spend some time together. And she was just like, they kind of, I don't know. So maybe that'll be in the next season. I feel like she may be so much in her business that she may be like slightly neglecting her husband. I feel just based off of her whole speech, but I don't know. We don't really know yet. Um, yeah,
She's in that spot now that Karen from Potomac is in. Like, seeing some success and really focused on like, this is my empire, this is what I'm building, this is what I'm going to do. And her
that's
husband
true.
is like, well, okay, let's pull it back and spend some time together and
But
do
do we
that.
know
So
if she
I
was
don't know if they've
ever
discussed
a
this.
housewife like that? Because
Just a
Karen,
housewife. I don't remember them discussing
I don't
that,
know.
honestly.
I don't know her background. I know Karen was basically all of her
For
things
20
came
years just at
from
home.
right. She was a home wife. I don't know if she was to make that same type of comparison, but I'm not sure. I don't know. Yeah,
It's I think it's I mean, Lisa enjoys working. There's nothing wrong with that, but
yeah.
I mean, her husband and Meredith's husband have some similarities where he's just like, "Hey, can we
Mm-hmm.
spend some time together? Can we do this?" And both of them are kind of in there. This is what I want to do. And that's
Mm-hmm.
kind of like the flip side of the coin of being a boss. At
That's
some
true.
point your partner's going to get tired of you being a boss.
That's very true. That
Some
is
men
very
can't
true.
take it.
Well, hopefully that's not her issue next season. Hopefully she's able to,
I like them together. They have a good vibe together.
They do. They seem fun. And they have 3 kids, and she's like such a interesting individual. Very fun. So yeah, I agree. I need to look up her age. I looked at Meredith's age today. I need to look at how old Lisa is. Meredith is 49, but I don't know how old Lisa is. Just to see. Let's talk about our auntie Mary. So we have
and
seen
Miss
her
Brooks.
in the church many times. No, Brooks was there.
Oh,
No.
I thought you said Meredith. Did you say
No,
Mary or Mary? Mary. Oh, I forgot she was a part of the cast.
I did too until they introduced her in this church, and she coming in telling the people in the choir that they gaining weight, they need to drink water. I said, what type? First of all, let's get into the entrance. The entrance was very extra. They was standing like she was coming out to play football, and the crowd was just like,
they're cheering.
I'm like, I know y'all are not doing this.
She's like, louder, y'all don't love me? Oh, God. Mary has delusions. She literally just lives in these delusions of grandeur.
I just want to know how many times
kind of endearing on the first episode.
Exactly.
Because they look tired. They look like it wasn't the first time. They looked
like they went to that scene
girl,
several
come
times.
on. God damn.
Nobody was ready. Everyone was looking real. I will say everyone did look really rehearsal-ish, as in nobody looked completely like done up. So I will say that part was authentic. But Mary I wish there was more to her that we would have seen, just not from this episode, but in this season, than just the gin and the church and then her closet. But it's like, I feel like there's so much more to her, but we're not really getting that. And in this episode, it was clear that she really had nothing going on. Honestly, because after a while, that gin thing kind of just blew over, and that was it. Once she removed herself from it, in this episode, the fact that they showed the church with her coming in, that should have been something that we saw in the first half of the season. You know what I'm saying? Where her choir, how they appreciate her and value her. But now in the finale, it's like, I don't know. That's just my opinion. But yeah.
Everything with her seems very contrived.
Yeah.
Like very planned out, very thought out. The conversation with her cousin, who is also her assistant, but she don't know her. She from a side of the family she doesn't speak to. It's like every single time you see Mary, it's like very staged. Okay, well, today I am talking to my son about his girlfriend.
There's no substance. It's very...
Mary, we just have to film with you today. We have to film with you. Find something to do.
She had more... At first, she started out friend of the show-ish. And then she came as, okay, I'm a cast member. Now she's back to friend of the show. Like, we didn't need those scenes that we've seen. I like Mary, but honestly, since they should have continued to make her be with those girls. And when they allowed her to do her own scenes, then we lost her, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just, So, sorry, TT.
Right. So, let's get into the gritty of everything. So, there was a scene with Meredith and Whitney, and it's basically where Whitney is venting to Meredith about, how she's venting to Meredith about how, she feels attacked. And, and how, not Whitney, I'm sorry, Meredith and Heather, my bad. She's venting to her. Heather's venting to Meredith, talking about how she's kind of fed up or whatever, and she's like saying that, if her daughter had a friend like Jen, would she really stand by and support it? And she also made mention to her marriage and how she was very much so putting up with that. I said that last week. You would think that this relationship with Jen would be, but I'm glad that she's able to acknowledge it on her own. But we lead into the final scene, where all the girls are there, and this is where we'll talk about Heather and what's her name, and Jen. But did you see Meredith's mask? And they try to make a big deal about it. I personally, I didn't dislike it, but I didn't understand what it had to do with the event and the look.
At all. I did, God bless, but it's Meredith, so good for you. There's that subtle shade of, I'm wearing it to block out negative energy. I'm like,
that's what
sure,
she said?
I'll allow it. Yeah.
I love the shade that Whitney threw.
Miss Brooks put her up to it.
Miss
Brooks put her up to that
That's
bullshit.
probably Brooks'
Miss
mask.
Brooks, I can know for a fact. One of the thing that I really liked was she was getting ready and she took off the pants and he was like, "Are you going to take off your pants right here in front of the camera?" Like, he is not for his mother looking like a fool on camera at all.
I
Like,
can't tell
that girl
because she
will
wore
get you
that
together really
mask.
quick. He doesn't care that much. But Whitney's little shade
Oh, that
with the
took with
double
the two
mask.
masks. That took me out. I said, "Yes, Miss Whitney." She was like, "What she say? You know nothing about this." What she said, stuff. I can't think of what she said. It was hilarious.
This is fashion.
Yeah, this is fashion. You just don't know it. Something like that. I said,
You don't know
"Yes, Miss
anything.
Whitney. Come on, confessional queen." So at the event is very pink, and the first thing I noticed, of course, Meredith. I didn't really like Heather's outfit. I don't really like any of Heather's outfits, but I guess it was pink. Her daughters looked nice. But after everyone got over Meredith's mask and just how, I guess, gag worthy it was for them, Lisa approaches Meredith. And I'm sorry, Meredith approaches Lisa. And she's basically is like, Lisa tells Meredith that she spoke to Jen and is giving her a chance, and Meredith is not having it. Meredith, she is over it, and I get why.
Yeah.
But I also see just a little bit of hypocrisy because I just feel like. Did I say that? I think I said that word so wrong. But yes,
You said it right. You said it
right. Because it's even though she said the words, "I'm not telling you you can't be friends with her." I feel like she was having a similar tactic of saying, "I don't really want you to be friends with her," in a very passive aggressive way, in my opinion. What were your thoughts on the conversation and then just how she approached it?
I kind of saw that, but I think from Meredith's standpoint, Jen really didn't have a reason whatsoever to tell them to not be friends with Whitney because Whitney didn't do anything.
Of course.
And I think they both knew that.
Okay.
Meredith is like, "Yo, Jen legit talked about my private marriage struggles.
Yeah.
Was spreading rumors about my family that my kids don't know. Like, and you're just really quick like that. Or like, okay, well, I'm friends with her again." I can see where she would kind of like side-eye that a little bit, like, oh, okay, just 2 days ago we were A, B, C, and D. So you could tell there was tension there. And I hope that they resolve that because I don't want to see my dream team broken up and fighting with each other.
Especially over some
I
Jen.
think that scene, at all, that chaotic-ass woman. But Meredith is doing what I thought Lisa would have done, which is sticking by her word, planting her feet in it and saying, when I say I'm not going to do something or when I'm holding someone accountable, I'm going to do it. She didn't flip-flop. I like that she told her friend, I don't like this at all. I don't like this energy. Yeah. Like she wasn't fake about it. She said, "This is where we're at."
Oh, she was
I don't like that.
She basically was just like, you can be friends with her, but I need time to myself. I need space. And because, and I guess the reason why Meredith has more of a reason to stand in what she said, because it happened to her. Now, it's Lisa that is her friend, but it didn't happen to her. And there is no real proof or whatever, I guess, that it's there in saying that Jen was talking shit about Lisa as well. But Lisa is just like, Heather, like, I feel like the type of person that Heather, they can learn something from each other, in my opinion. I really feel like Heather is a down ass friend, but she gets run over. Lisa, she's a down ass friend. She doesn't get run over. Now they both are very forgiving. They both are very ride or die friends, but Lisa would not get run over like Heather has, in my opinion. And she has a good balance of letting you know what time it is, and then being there by your side if need be. And I think that is what Heather could learn from Lisa, in my opinion. What were you going to say?
Well, you said that last week.
Yeah.
You said that last week. Like, and this week just kind of reaffirmed the energy.
Yeah.
Jen literally went chasing after Meredith and Lisa to get their forgiveness.
Yeah.
And Heather had to beg Jen to say I'm sorry. Like
Okay.
Jen really values. I don't know if Jen values her friendship with Lisa and Meredith, but she knows that it's smart to be friends with Lisa
Yeah.
and Meredith. Jen couldn't care less about Heather at all. Couldn't care less.
I
The only thing
disagree.
Jen is worried about is
I disagree. But
I
go ahead.
I I think that she cares that she has somebody on her side. I don't think she values Heather's friendship. She values that she has Heather's loyalty.
I think
Because literally your
she.
friend is sitting there and had to beg you. You
Yeah.
didn't call your friend. You didn't ask to meet her. You didn't say I have to talk to
Right.
Heather and get this squared away. You didn't approach her.
I
She had
don't.
to come up to you.
You know, I'm not a big fan of Jen like that. But I don't. I think
Don't give her
that.
anything.
I have to. I'm scratching my boobie. I think that she definitely. I think it's two sides of it. I think she definitely is with Heather. She knows what she has in terms of someone that she can kind of run over. You know, that's not really a friendship, but typically, if that's there are a lot of friendships out there that are very give and take, and I mean it's unfortunate,
Yeah.
but that's just their friendship. It's not really anybody's fault that Heather has been run over for all these years, and now she wants to have a backbone, and then it's like you. Jen has been this way with you for the longest. It didn't just start here, so it's not
Yeah.
right. But you all have built
It's
this
okay.
relationship to where it was okay. You know, I from that scene, and we can just skip over to that scene. I think she really does care for Heather. I think that I could see that she genuinely loves her. Jen just does. She just doesn't. It's like she just doesn't know how to be a good friend to anybody. Like, but
Or
I think,
person.
or right, or a good person. But I feel like she really does care for Heather, and I thought it was a kind of cute when she did. Was like, no, bitch, you can't. Wear my lip gloss. You know, I don't care for glitter like that. But I did see, like, I feel like she does. She just has to learn how to really appreciate, really value, and really be a good friend to Heather. The other girls, no. And she
Because
was.
she paid that conversation with Whitney. She
Oh,
wouldn't even look Whitney in the face.
She wouldn't, but Whitney was letting her have it. I like how Whitney was like, and I'm so glad you apologized to me. I was just like, I really thought that Jen was gonna flip out on that girl. I was worried for Whitney, but she said, "I'm not drunk." That girl said, "You want to drink?" He said, not today.
Yep.
I'm gonna do this sober."
Yep. Yep. So that
um,
way you can't blame it on that.
Exactly. So that scene, I think she does care, love, and is a friend to Heather, or wants to be. She has to learn how. But that was kind of
Yeah.
crazy. But Heather was letting her have it. She was not. They
And
had
I'm
to
proud of Heather for that.
very
I'm proud
proud.
of her. I'm proud that she stuck it in and said, "This is what I need you to do. I'm not
Yes.
backing down from that. If you do not say this, then we can't move forward." Good. But also, like you said, I can see that. You've had a friendship that's played out this way for so long. Yeah, good for you for standing up for yourself and expecting things. But girl, I don't want to hear you whine about this for the next season or two. If that girl can't meet you where you need her to meet you at, let
Yeah.
that shit go.
Right.
Either move on and be friends or don't be friends with her. But I can't take another 3 episodes of you just crying about how bad of a friend she is. Stand
Right.
in it. And stuff like this is always interesting to see what comes around at the reunion once they've had time to look at footage,
A long
because I
time, honey.
wonder if Lisa's opinion on the situation with Jen and Meredith changes when she actually saw the
Jen
footage
said it.
of what actually that conversation went
Oh
down,
yeah.
because Jen was painting it as my words were misconstrued, and a lot of what Jen was telling people how stuff went down didn't go down like that. It's coming out that Whitney was the one that's telling the truth more of the time.
Oh yeah. Of
So that's
course.
interesting to see. I'm interested to see how that plays out. I mean, the reunion, just from the little quick preview that we saw, I mean, it looked like it's going to be good.
It looks to be good. It's 3 parts. I'm not really
I'm,
understanding
I'm tired.
why it should be 3 parts. Like we talked about this, I don't know, on or off camera, how after like the second reunion, typically we're tired. I mean, I know that it's so much drama, but I don't think I have really enjoyed a 3-part reunion in a long time. even from the Housewives of Atlanta, because there's 3 parts, and so one of those parts is gonna be very boring. It's either gonna be the first, the second, or third, but typically it's always
Yeah.
the one in the middle. Or actually
Yeah.
no, it's always the last one, typically, sometimes, because you be like, okay, at that point you're tired.
They're
you're
tired
tired.
of fighting.
They're tired of fighting. It's like at this point, just you want to see the if 2 parts, I can see y'all fight another season. 3 parts, y'all need to have made up, honey. Okay? I'm just saying. By the 3rd part, make up. That's all I want to see.
Exactly. Because we're tired. We don't want to see. I mean, I think overall, this finale, like the last 30 minutes of it were good. I think there was just so much drama in last week's episode and the week before with the Vegas trip that it was like, okay, let's try to catch our breath. But I think the ladies brought it this first season.
Yeah.
I definitely enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I was going to enjoy it. I wasn't expecting a whole lot, but I think that they did a very good job of casting. The women have genuine chemistry with each other. They have genuine connections. And so I think now next season, they're going to be a little bit more savvy about how they come across on camera, what's said. I think that they're going to try to catch a lot more conversations on camera to avoid this he said, she said, especially Miss Whitney, because Miss Whitney's going to want to have shit documented.
Yeah.
You're not calling me a liar.
We need to find out what was actually said to Mary about, the like what I guess whether or not they were scared of Jen, or what happened. We need to figure out what happened, because it was said, it was told to Whitney. She repeated what she heard in the words of Phaedra Parks, and that's what happened. We didn't talk about Meredith and Meredith's run-in with her, but she was very not here for it. I think you could
yeah.
You could tell she was not receiving what Jen said, and I don't understand how Jen was so confused. Why? It's just because, girl, this is who you've done the hurt to. And so I like how Meredith was just like, well, I honestly, I probably won't be friends with her for a while or ever like that. And that's real. People have to understand that sometimes these things are not, you can't come back from certain things you've said or done. It's unfortunate, but I had to look up her sign. I said, is she a damn Scorpio? Because she sounds like me. But no, she is a Sagittarius. So.
Oh, God, really?
She's December 15th, I think I saw. No, that was Wikipedia. I don't know. Somebody could have wrote that today. But I think it said December 15th. So, yes. But that's real.
I thought it was really... It very much is. And, I mean, again, she wasn't fake with it. She stood in it. She wasn't like, hi, how are you? Hug. She was just like, hey, I'm still not in a good place. And what did she tell us? She goes, I prefer actions over words. And the thing that frustrated me was Jen said, I don't understand why Meredith's not accepting my apology.
That's what I'm saying. She couldn't understand. I can't.
She go round and round and round.
Everyone
she lives in a different set of rules, but you could see. You could see on her face she was frustrated that Meredith was paying everything she had to say. Meredith was giving her nothing.
People don't have to accept your apology, and they don't have to forgive. They don't have to move on. Listen, what you did is what you did. If they want to do that, then they can. Now, it's great. Sometimes
absolutely. You're lucky she didn't cuss you clean out, because she should have cussed you clean out. Embarrassed you right there. She should have. And as a Sagittarius, I'm surprised she fucking didn't.
I don't know signs like that. I know Scorpios. I don't know about. Sagittarius. I know they want to be us sometimes. So that's very Sagittarius of them.
Okay. All right. But I think Jen is just so used to getting a rise out of people that whenever she doesn't get a rise
out of Meredith,
she doesn't know where to go. And we've said that multiple times before.
Yeah.
She just doesn't. And Meredith is the one that will disengage in a heartbeat. She did it last week.
I don't think she wanted to rise out of anybody in this episode. I think she just wanted to. She basically was on an apology tour, literally an apology tour from one person to one person. And at the end, I like how she looked at everybody. I'm sorry to you, sorry to you, sorry to you, sorry to you. Because girl, at this point, you are the one. You are one out. And so she's smart. She knows the game, because had she not done that, at least had some kind of friend on her side, they wouldn't want to film with her, and honey, she'd be on her way out like some other people. So
They would ate her up at that reunion.
wait, did you?
We'll see.
There was something
We'll see.
that Heather said. She was like, "Shaw Squad is on your payroll. I don't have to do this." Something like that. I said, "Yes, come on." Heather was going in, and I lived for that moment.
Well, and she called her out whenever she was the list. She goes, "Do I like her temper? No." And then she said, "Do I hate her drinking?" She specifically made it a point to say your drinking is causing a lot of problems between people. But I love you regardless of that. So get your shit together.
Drinking. They finna have that lady in some kind of like rehab or counseling next season. I don't feel like seeing those scenes. That she has another problem. She needs to go to counseling for that, not for
Look, she gonna be rooming with Whitney's bed. And you know he don't like roommates.
Oh, oh Lord Jesus. Oh Lord. Well, on that note, I think we've covered everything from this episode. The reunion is next week, and I guess we'll be talking about that too, child. I hope it's really good and exciting.
So do I. I think it will be at least 1.5 parts. I don't know about all 3. I don't know what they're going to talk about for 3 parts. Ain't not that much shit happen. What happened was good, but not 3 parts worth.
That's true.
So we'll see.
They only had 13 episodes.
Unless they bring it up some of Mary's skeletons, well then let's talk about some of that.
Their little outro was very shady.
That was very shady. That was very shady on production.
They let them have it, child. Especially with what's her name, still on FaceTime, and she said that anytime her husband wants to talk about moving together, she disengages.
She disengages. There's a homosexual that writes those because they be going in.
I love it. Well, like I said, we about to lean out. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, and comment all things to lean. And we will see you guys for the reunion. Now, the reunion, I think it airs on Sunday. I gotta check and see. That's
gonna throw my whole week into chaos.
I gotta go back and maybe it's not Sunday. I don't know. I'm gonna check and see, but we'll see y'all. We will see y'all later. We gonna lay down.
We'll figure it out.
Right.